today's seminar. Welcome everybody, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon. So welcome to this seminar here, WebEx. And what I'm going to go through is setting up a MEP project using the CTC Express tools. And some of the management tools will basically be for the architect's model. And if we have time, then we'll go into a little bit on the Hive, which is another add-in that we have. Okay, my name is Mel and I'm one of the BIM coordinators for Optima Engineering, and I have been doing project setup and model management for going on 25 years. I started out in AutoCAD architecture, clear back in number 3 and Revit 8, right at the tail end of 7 and beginning of Revit 8. And like I say, I've been doing this for a number of years. And so I'll introduce Pete Wood. He's our other BIM coordinator for Optima, and I will let him tell you a little bit about his background and what he's been doing.
Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Wood, as Mel's indicated, working at the same location in Charlotte, North Carolina for an MEP engineering firm. My specialty is Revit families, Revit schedules, and streamlining the production process for all disciplines, so whether it's technology, fire protection, plumbing, and electrical mechanical. And I'll have a short discussion about parameters and families and schedules at the end. Thanks, Mel.
Okay, I'm back now. Okay, the agenda today, we're going to be mainly in the Express tools, and I'll show you a few things in the management tools and in the batch suite. And if we have time at the end, we'll go into the Hive, which is where we store all of our details, a lot of sheets, all of our families. Okay, the project setup tools. Okay, we got, and the batch suite tools, the family tools, and Hive. Okay, how to save time and speed up production. Okay, we're going to compare, if you got Revit, the out of the box template for Revit, you have 2 levels, which is out of the box, which means you have to, any other levels, you have to create all of the other levels. You have to create all of your views, all of your sheets, and everything else. And with and over here on the right hand side right here, it just basically shows you what is included in the Optima template file, or the out of the box template file. Okay, this is our CTC content package that we have, and you'll see there that we have elevations, elevation levels, the project browsers over to the side, and all levels and disciplines. And what I'm going to do now, okay, here's the template file. It's got 8 levels and a roof. It's got reference lines, reference planes, and they're all dimensioned. You can use that. Okay, and then over, I'll pull this over here so you can see that. Okay, we have in the browser organization, we have, you got all and discipline, electrical. You can set your discipline to electrical only, or mechanical, plumbing, fire protection, and that's the way that sets up. And here you have, okay, let me project setup. Okay, I got to change. Okay. Construction documents, floor plans. Here you got all of your electrical, fire protection, HVAC, HVAC piping, plumbing, power, and systems. That comes with in default. All of the view templates are included in that, and filters, schedules, and you have all of that view. I'm in here. Okay, get this out of my road. How do I get rid of that? All right, well, never mind. But anyway, this is what's included in the template package. And I'll go down here, and we'll get rid of this for a minute. Okay, in the content package here, we got the MEP content package, which is all kinds of families and detail views, sample projects, schedules and details, shared parameter, and a user's manual. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and close this out and go into the project. And this is the opening screen for the content package. You got a bunch of schedules down here, and the schedules are preloaded, and we have customized and made smart schedules. So if you drop something in, a piece of content in, it will automatically fill out the schedule. Is that correct, Pete?
Okay. So yes, parameters that are involved with the equipment can be modified from the schedules from a 30,000 foot level to looking at glycol concentrations to looking at central energy plant. So this is a multidisciplinary tool, and some of the projects that we work on aren't that intellectual, but it's a very useful tool that's already preset, and if you know all the values you need, you can apply them there. Back to you.
Okay, all right. So now this is one of our projects here, and I'm gonna show you here we have three sets of tools here. These are the express tools, the management tools, and these are the batch suite tools. And what we're going to be in this right here, this shows you right here. This is how many levels you have in your project, and it gives the elevations of them, which setting your view ranges or whatever, you can use that tool right there. And here's all of your view templates. That's comes with we have customized all of our view templates to our company standards. The architect, he's got the first floor plan, that is the level name, but his view names might be first floor, it might be lower level, it might be whatever, and you can put that in here as an abbreviation. And here we have all of our view templates. From right here, you got all of them. We have mechanical, we have architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and coordination. So you can make all of them views. And if you say you've got lighting and equipment connections, we added a lot of view templates for our disciplines, and from the default of the CTC content package, we added our systems, we added fire alarms, we added security, all of our telecom view templates, and it's just as easy. So you got intercom. Okay, we got intercom, and we got lighting. And here and over on right here, you can basically name like first floor reflected ceiling plan or second floor reflected ceiling plan. And you can go through and click on all of the views that you want to make. Just go down this list and just put a checkbox on everything that you want to make. As far as views goes, I'll make a couple of them. Okay, we're going to go to the first floor. We're going to go to the second floor, and here say, all right, say he's got first floor, so we'll go by level here, and then phase, and then the view template. And once you get everything checked, you can also do your new work plans, you can do your demo plans, you can do existing plans right here on your phases. And it's all you have to do is add them. And once you add them, that's how quick it is. It adds every one of them in there. And then you go over here, get it back over here to where you can see it. Then you go right here and create the views. And so once you get all your views created, and say you've got sheets, you need to make all your demo sheets or any of your other sheets. So then we'll go in here, and you can create any elevations that you need here and dependent views, and I'll go through that in a minute. On dependent views, this will not work. The dependent views, you must have scope boxes for the dependent views to work. And I'll come back to that in a minute. You can do your schedules, apply schedules to whatever views you want here, and then your sheets and your title blocks. And you can create your work sets, apply work sets to all of them, and you can create duplicate views if you got more than one view here. Like say you got a furniture plan, you've got an equipment plan, you've got other plans for say your first floor. You can go in here and check whatever, okay, overall first floor mechanical plan, go over here and say, okay, I want 3 copies of that. You click on that and you've got 3 copies of it. So, but now I'll go into the floor plan here, and what's that? Get into the floor plan. Get that out of there. I want discipline all. Set it to discipline all because it's defaulting to mechanical. So I'm going to go into, and I'll create a scope box or 2, and then I'll pull back up the project browser, and I'll show you how to use your scope boxes. So we have one scope box already that comes in as a default, which is the overall floor plan. And if you've got area plans that you need, you can rename all of your views as overall floor plans, and then you put in your scope boxes. Yeah, we just do a scope box right here. Okay, and up here you name your scope box right there, and the elevation that you want for your scope box, and then you create your scope box, and then you create your second area A. Okay, this is going to be area B, and then area C, and area D. Okay, now I want to make, I've got my first floor plan at 1/8 inch scale, my overalls at 16th inch scale. So now I'll go back in here and I'm ready to make my area plans for the first floor. So we'll go in here and our dependent views. Okay, and here are the scope boxes. There's area A, area B, area C, and area D. And for every floor plan here, you just put a check box on all the floor plans that you need. You know, just area A, area B, area C, area D, first floor, second floor, roof, and whatever. And then you, right here, you say create area plans. And with a click of a mouse, you've got all your area plans created. And that's going to save you from right clicking and say duplicate as a dependent, duplicate as a dependent. Then once you get all of that done, and you're gonna have to have area plans for, you know, the template file has 8 floor plans, 9 floor plan, 8 floor plans, and a roof. Okay, you've got them as overall. Then you do your view creator. You create all your 1/8 inch plans. You've made all of your area plans. Now we're going to make sheets for them. So you go in here and it's going to create. You're going to create your sheets in batch. So, and what we do with that, we start out with your first thing. If it's power, your first floor power plans, second floor power or area A, first floor power plan area B, first floor power plan area C, and then area D. And then once you get all your floors done, you type them in, then you highlight it, you copy it down and change power to lighting. And then once you get them done, you change power to systems. Once you get them done, change power to fire alarm, and so on and so forth. And then once you get that done, then you'll add them in, and they will come in here, and that's all you have to do is number your sheets. So that's going to save you how much time? You know, if you don't have the tools to do it, then you're going to be creating sheets one at a time. And then once you create sheets, then you're going to have to number them. And then you're going to have to load the title block. So, and this here will not only make your sheets, it will also load title blocks. You just click over here, and this column right here is to apply your title block to it. And you can have multiple title blocks. If you got one title block for electrical, one for mechanical, one for fire protection, one for plumbing, you can go through here and apply all of your electrical title blocks to your electrical sheets, and mechanical, and then fire protection, plumbing, so forth. And that's going to save you a whole lot of time than it is to select a sheet and then apply a title block. Because normally the sheets that are created does not have a title block on it in the template file. You pull that from the architect's model. Once you get it like you want it in the architect's model, for your company standards, whatever, add your logo, your seal placeholders, your north arrow, your fire legends, and whatever you add to your title block through parameters, and then you load it into the project, and then you'll go in here, and right here is where you create all your sheets. So if you got, say, Okay, we got first floor and second floor power. All right, we're going to copy them. Go down here, we're going to paste them. And that's all you have to do is change power to lighting. And it's basically as fast as you can type. And then you say, okay. And then it'll pull them over here and you just put your sheet numbers on it. And then once you get them all named, and then you just say over here and click process, and it'll create your sheets with the sheet numbers and the sheet titles, however you name them. Then it's all you have to do is once you get that done is just load your sheets. So that is for the most part just going through and creating your setup, finishing your project setup, creating your views, your sheets, your dependent views, and numbering the sheets. And then you can then we'll go to the architect's model. Let me see, go over here. Okay, and this is the architect's model and how they load the sheets. And the way we do it, we have, when we number our sheets and our views, we match what the architect has. If his sheet numbers are A005, then the template file defaults to A001 or E001 or E101. However, but sometimes you can, the architect will have, say, A dash or A dot or A1 dot or whatever. And we have a dynamo routine that will go through and basically renumber all of the sheets all at one time. And you put in what the original first character is, whether it's E, and then you change that to E dash or E1 dash or E dot or whatever, and hit the process or run key, and it runs. So and that's another time-saving step. And renumbering sheets. And you can we also have another routine that will turn all of the seals on. Because when in our title blocks, in the blank title block, we put all the seal placeholders, and it runs off of parameters also, instant parameters. And I got a routine that you just open up the routine and say turn all of the seals on, and hit the button, and it turns all of the seals on every sheet. So that's where that is. All right, so that a little bit, and then we get back over here, and when you do your architect's model, our company policy is we strip the model. We take all of the sheets, the drafting views, the section views, all of the 3D views except one, the elevation views, north, south, east, and west, and you get rid of all of the others and any renderings, because renderings and 3D views, groups, and schedules will inflate your project. So we can take a 500 megabyte architectural model and we can strip it down to less than 300 meg. Sometimes we can get it down to 200. But on the management tab, when you're cleaning up your model, you have one here that says Project Cleaner, which will go through and you go into that and go through and you select everything that you want to get rid of in that model, and just put a checkbox in and say run, and it gets rid of everything that's in that model that you want to have deleted. And then we purge it all until it gets down to 0, because sometime an architect might have 5,000 families loaded in and 300 or 400 groups and everything. So you purge all of that out, which helps decrease the size of your model. And then we save it out on the network so it can be linked in. All right, this is going to take a little time, so I'm going to cancel that. Not responding. Okay, we're going to wait on that. So, but we'll go back over here. You can get back to here, and we add our. I had it open. Where's it at? Okay, there it is. Okay, here's one of our normal title blocks. We add our logo, our sealed placeholders, key plan if the architect has a RFA key plan. If not, then we look into Legends to find the key plan that's in Legends, export that out, go into AutoCAD, strip it, clean it, and bring it back into our title block and explode it and turn it into Revit layers and apply, the areas to it. Like you got area A, B, C, and D on this project. And then the north arrow, the sheet disclaimer over here. And we normally do put our optimum project number here, and then here if it requires, the architect requires it, then we add a sheet count. It's another dynamo. It's parameters that we put in there, the sheet number and then total number of sheets, and run our dynamo routine that will take each discipline and number. Fire alarm, you might have 6 sheets. It'll go 1 of 6, 2 of 6, 3 of 6, and so forth. And same way with mechanical, plumbing, and all of that. And then but the total sheets, it gives you the total number of sheets that's in the project. So that's the title block. And Pete, how much time do you need?
It's like I say, about 5 to 10 minutes. I think you're in good shape.
Yeah, so far we are. We only been on here about a half an hour. So let me see, go back here and see if that thing's still running. Okay, so here is your project cleaner. We got legends, we got schedules, and we got views. Okay, the views, and here we have all, you want to check all of these, all of the schedule views, the schedules, the legends, get rid of all of that. And all of your floor plans that you don't need, like your coordination floor plans, unless you use them. All of your drafting views, you get rid of them. Your working ceiling plans and so forth, and get rid of all of them in the architect's model. And like I say, that basically cleans everything out. And Pete's going to go over some of these and some of these here in a couple of minutes. But it's excuse me. But that's basically okay. We're going down here. All right. So we've done that. Okay, there's the Express tools, the manager tools, and the batch suite toolbar icons. You got some free tools in there, and with the batch suite tools, you can upgrade families. You can upgrade a project. If you're going from version 18 to 19 or 19 to 20 or whatever, you can select a folder and you can just check all of the models you want to upgrade, hit the enter key and go get a cup of coffee, and it'll open up each model in the background, upgrade it and save it over top of it. And you can export all of your families. It's in a model. You can export them out, or you can import all of your families into your model. So that's a pretty handy thing. And the plotter, the plotting tool, opens up a dialog box. You can take and run. You can plot all of your sheets, all of your views. But we normally just run sheets. We got a couple of clients that requires us to make DWG sheets, PDFs, DWF files, and plot files. And you just check all of them boxes and it'll go out and it'll put folders and subfolders and put all of your sheets into that without having to run the plot routine 3 or 4 or 5 times. It's all done in one. So, all right. And then the Hive, let's go over got a few minutes before Pete takes over. So I'll go into the Hive here and kind of give you a rundown of what's in the Hive. This is another add-in that we've got, and sign in the Hive. And this is one of the best things that we ever purchased was Hive. And with the Hive, we have libraries. We have a mechanical library, we got a plumbing library, we got the CTC standard details. We got all of them in the Hive because we might not have a detail that we kind of want, but they might have one in the CTC content package. And they have over 1,000 details in their content, their content package. They got electrical, mechanical, plumbing. We also have we have a client, Duke Energy. They have their own specific details. And then we got our electrical details, mechanical, our MEP notes, our general notes and schedule notes and whatever for each discipline. We have MEP schedules, our families, MEP family library, and we have office and administration, which you can put Word documents, you can put PDF files, and with this newest version of Hive, you can also put DWG files, AutoCAD files in it, and you can load them into the Hive right from your AutoCAD. And Revit standards and documents, and then your plumbing details. So we'll go in here. Let's just go into this library here right quick. And this here is this is the CT, some of the details, and you can change it up here and all right, where's the pictures? We got the pictures there. And it'll give you Why isn't that doing that? Yeah, here they are. You can, it gives you a preview of what each detail is. And you can scroll down through here, or up here you can, and type here, you can say, okay, lighting. And it'll just bring up your lighting details. And, or you can do power, you can do systems. And if you know what the detail, you know, what the detail name is, then you can type it in just to search for that particular thing. And then once you find your detail, you got it open in Revit. So just click on it and drag it into your project. And that's another time-saving thing. Instead of going out to your master library or your master Revit file, your content file, family file, or whatever, and it basically another time-saving step as far as production. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Pete and have him go over what he needs to go over.
Thank you, Mel. Very well done. Appreciate the in-depth introductions to all the finer points that anybody who does project setup really would appreciate some of the applications that you demonstrated. One thing, while you still have the Hive screen here, I wanted to add, we have two separate locations, and the Hive is cloud-based so that both offices can access the latest and greatest information, whether it be a drafting view for a detail or a Revit family that I've recently updated and posted. Just sending out an email blurb, letting folks know stuff is ready, and they can quickly get to it without any massive refresh, bringing that stuff into their project, and everybody's on the same page. So that's one of the great things about the Hive tool. Okay, so looks like I have a little bit of time here, and I need to share my screen.
Okay, I'll stop sharing mine.
Okay, so let me try that again. All right, so share screen there. All right, so my name is Peter Wood, as previously introduced, working with Optima Engineering in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are an MEP firm. We have two BIM coordinators. Each has a separate task, but we can overlap if we need to. So today I'm going to discuss an app in CTC BIM Project Suite, which is this right here, and it's going to be Parameter Jammer. And then also, after that, I'm going to talk about CTC BIM Manager Suite Family Processor. And notice right now that that particular app is grayed out. We'll discuss that later. So everyone who's ever worked with Revit families and Revit schedules have probably seen something like this, where you have a piece of equipment that's loaded. This is a new air handler that we've pulled in from the internet. And when you go to the schedule, it's not filled in. And so this is when some folks might get stressed out. And so what we're going to do is just go to that schedule and click on some of these fields, and we can't enter any data at all. And what that means is there's no shared parameters assigned to this piece of equipment. This piece of equipment is just a newer handler from the internet. It was just short and sweet. Whereas this other one, we can click on the fields and we can change values of information. And that's presenting a successful communication with a Revit family to a Revit schedule. What today is going to focus on is getting all these parameters into a piece of equipment. And if anybody has ever tried to load a parameter into a piece of equipment, it's a daunting task, out of the box, that is. So we would call up our family types schedule, and obviously this thing is stripped. But we would go ahead and add a parameter and work through the steps of shared parameter, because that's the only thing you can communicate with the schedule. And then we go to all our different shared parameter file information. So one thing that's great that CTC did for us, and you may have noticed, experienced folks of Revit out of the box, there's a lot less groups and there's multiple or varying instances between the trades for what a voltage is. And to me, that's a huge setback. And so CTC has done a great job at providing breaking down the silos between the disciplines and giving valuable information across the trades so that it all works out in the end on a Revit schedule. So I'm not going to go any further, but this particular exercise explains itself pretty well on how to add a parameter. So we're going to go to CTC. Let me close this out because I just wanted to talk about adding shared parameters. So close this one out too. All right. So with Parameter Jammer, we can add parameters from the project level. And what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these parameters that are listed across the schedule and we're going to push them into a piece of equipment. So one moment here, let me maximize. Here's our schedule for our dialog box for Parameter Jammer. And these are just multiple schedules that are in this empty project. And we've got 2 air handlers. This one that says stripped is the one we're going to concentrate on. Okay, so give it a few seconds for the dialog box to load. Actually, let me back up a second. We actually have to also point this Parameter Jammer to our shared parameter file out on the network. This is very important. Excuse me. So go back to clicking next, and we're going to load processing the family. This is the long list of parameters that we actually see right here across the top of our dialog box are being listed here. We have the ability to add as an instance or as a type parameter, which is a really good aspect of the tool. Status manually set from a previous app session. So we can get into a whole lot more detail of what Parameter Jammer can do for us, but I don't have that much time. And one thing I do want to add is that Parameter Jammer, if it finds a parameter that is identical to, say, motor FLA, it will take the shared parameter from Optima Engineering and replace it with the parameter that came with the family. But in this instance, I stripped everything out because I wanted to give you the luxury of the tool, and that is pushing massive amounts of information in a very short period of time. So it'll also pull those formulas just to add. Okay, so I'm going to click next. Yeah, it takes a couple seconds for it to process the information. Again, that's probably 20 some odd parameters. To manually do that could take 2 or 3 minutes just if you know where everything is. This saves so much time. And it's processing that family. We should see a success rate where it's added everything. So that's a good sign. We're going to hit OK. And we're going to hit finish. And right now it doesn't visually say anything until I click into a field, and now it has cleared out that air handler ID that I gave it, but it makes all these fields where you can now record all of your valuable information in a very short period of time. So let's see, I'm just keeping up with my notes here. Looks like we're in good shape. And so this equipment, we would, it's not too difficult for us to fill in that air handler information, but then to go and add all the rest of the data. So hopefully that helped everybody understand the Parameter Jammer side from a project level. So now I'm going to take a few seconds to talk about BIM Manager, the CTC BIM Manager Suite and Family Processor. So again, we're going to click on this file. We actually have to highlight that in the model, which is great with Revit. And we're now going to edit the family. And let's see, 1 second. Edit the family. And so while in the family, notice we don't have any data associated with the parameters that we just previously loaded. We are going to go to CTC BIM Manager Suite, and now we can access the Family Processor tool. And we have a level of tabs here. First off, we're doing new settings, open settings, and save settings. And then, like all CTC tools, we have great capabilities of accessing support, training videos, help. Everything is laid out right there. So we're going to look at the first level or tier of tabs. There's just family level processing, lookup tables, change materials if you want to manage all your families, change parameters, which is today's discussion, processing the order, and then obviously looking at select families and begin. So back to change parameters. Now we have another level of tabs. And if we can delete parameters, which we don't have any in this particular family, we can add shared parameters, which is today's effort, add family parameters, replace with shared parameters, and parameters to change. Primarily, I spend all my time adding shared parameters. And again, reflection on where the shared parameter file is located, which is important. We just link it to our network and we're good to go. So right now, this particular family doesn't have any shared parameters applied. So now we're going to open settings. I have a canned hot water heat settings file for air handler and DX. It's quick and easy for me to get to, but I have them set for all my fans, all of my pumps, chillers, cooling towers. There's multiple schedules that we have built in-house. So I'll hit open. And after the settings are loaded, we now notice that all selected parameters and shared parameters are loaded. And we can expand this. This is a great tool to take a look at what you're about to add to this family. There's information that we use every day. And then there's information that is specific to a piece of equipment. So this first column is whether that parameter is an instance or a shared parameter, or a type parameter. My apologies, type parameter and instance parameter. So a lot of this information probably could, like in motor FLA, probably could be a type parameter, but we set it as an instance because there will be other pieces of equipment and we want to make sure we don't change one and offset another. The parameter type. So the value that we're actually going to push into the file, pre-canned information, and then we actually have, which is great, and I believe Parameter Jammer does this as well, but here you can actually get to see the formulas that you're going to push from the settings file into a piece of equipment to make a more interactive or intelligent schedule. And so at this point, with my limited time, we'll just go ahead and move on to selecting families to begin. And so here, this is saying current family file will not be saved. No worries, you'll be able to save it. It's just telling you the extra steps. And then multiple family files. So we can actually navigate out to our network, grab a directory, see several families in there, and then basically add those selected files to another directory to change. So we can add all of these settings. All of these settings to multiple pieces of equipment, which is a huge time saver. One of its best selling points. Down here, we can modify a piece of equipment and tell it to save out files to a different location, alternate parent file, override preview image. And something I've recently done is create a type catalog file. So this particular application will take a family and do nothing with it up here and say, make me a type catalog. I want to actually gut the family and use a type catalog to load in just specific family types that I want in my project. And so we've begun this process, and it's a huge time saver. It's actually like purging a family before it comes into your project. So it's a great tool. Back to current family file and will not be saved, and we'll just begin processing. And this is just a list of all the parameters that we're going to add that are going to help communicate with that schedule I just discussed. Give it a few seconds. So this is, if you're to do this manually, this is doing it in like 1/16th of the time. And if there's a mistake, you can fix it on all these multiple files by rerunning the program to say delete a parameter and add a different parameter, or a formula, or whether it's instance or type. You can go any direction you want with this particular application after you've run it. So, and just to realize it'll all be consistently right, or consistently a little off kilter, and you can fix it. So here is my status. And so some of these parameters, errors and success rates, I don't tend to get too worked up about this. And it's probably because I had added a parameter out of sync with my formula. But we're just going to go ahead and hit X here, commit changes to the open family document. Say yes. So this is where you're actually saving that information. Come back in to take a look at it. And now we have a fully incorporated file that will read. Notice some of our formulas didn't come through. I have a little bit of cleanup there, but the good thing about family processor is that when you get the synchronization of those parameters, that works out good. Okay, so we're going to load into the project. I don't wish to save it. Here, always overwrite existing version and its parameter values. That's what works for us. This takes a few seconds for that upload. Control tab back to the schedule, and here we have all our data. And obviously zeros and minus 459s is not a good thing, but we can always change that information. And the schedule makes it now more complete. And basically, in conclusion, we discussed the CTC BIM Manager BIM project suite for parameter jammer, of adding shared parameters from a Revit schedule to a Revit family. And opposite of that, we also demonstrated CTC BIM Manager suite with family processor, where we added a Revit equipment with a settings file to communicate with the schedule. So you can go forwards or backwards with this and communicating with Revit schedules, which is a big hit in our office. And that helps explain just parameters and Revit families. And we're open to questions if anybody has anything they want to ask us.
Okay, Pete, thank you. Also, when we purchased our CTC package, we had, well, it's ATG now, but they helped us, all of the symbols. There's hundreds and hundreds of symbols that comes with the package. And we customized most of them to their, the CTC symbols, and made them smart. So with descriptions on them. And when you if you drop a receptacle in, it'll add it to the schedule, and so on and so forth.